and we're going to get right to it with Cavs Timberwolves. Here we go. In Minnesota, Wolves, fourth straight win. Big second half, 131-122. Julius Randle, 28, 11, and 8. Ant with his 25, 9, and 7. Donovan did have 38 and 7. All of the starters for the Timberwolves were in double figures, 20 and 18 through 37 games. Last season, that's not good math, and went to the conference finals. This season, 25 and 18 through their times. Could you see, Lou, and I know the Minnesota Timberwolves have been an interesting story, and we do love Ant, but can you see them actually getting back to the conference finals for the third time?
You know what? They got a shot like everybody else. And if they continue to play like they played last night, they'll be in that conversation. I think the difference in this year's past is it's been a two-team race in the West with Denver and OKC. This year, you've got the emergence of Houston is in that conversation now. Lakers are in that conversation now. San Antonio is in that conversation now. Obviously, Denver is still going to be in that conversation once Jokic back and see what they can do if they can survive him being out. And obviously, OKC is in that conversation. So the pool has gotten a little bigger, but with the way Minnesota has been able to contend and stay in that conversation and stay in that fight, they're going to get themselves an opportunity. But this is going to be one of the tougher years for them to be able to get back in years past. It's going to be a different challenge than they've seen before. But look, last night they had 4 guys over 20 points. And that's what you need. It seems like they figured out what they're going to do at the point guard position, going with a bigger lineup with bigger guys in that starting lineup and how they're playing. It looked like it's working for them. But do I see them as a shoe-in to get right back? No, that road is going to be tough to travel with the emergence of these other teams. Like I said, Houston is going to be interesting. OKC is obviously there. Denver is obviously still there. Now you got San Antonio. Now that's interesting. We can't figure out what the Lakers are going to do. Like the West is a different beast than it was before. But like I said, if Ant-Man and Julius Randle and Co can continue to play at a high level and they can do these high numbers, they're going to give themselves an opportunity just like everybody else. But to be a shoe-in right now, I don't really know.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think Lou hit it directly on the head. The West is a gauntlet, you know. Teams have gotten better from the previous 2 seasons. My only issue with this Timberwolves team is they haven't really switched up anything in the past couple of seasons. They've kind of remained the same. Now, that's not necessarily a knock to them because, you know, they do have ultimate talent in, you know, Anthony Edwards. They do have a great Robin with, you know, Julius Randle. I love their perimeter defense with McDaniels. So they have a nice core group. I do think they need to, you know, look forward to tweaking certain things with their roster. Obviously, the glaring hole with this team is that point guard position. If we're talking about making another conference finals with the way the West looks this year, they have to address that point guard position. I don't think that's something, you know, that you can just continue to overlook and hopefully put a Band-Aid over it and think it's going to potentially work long term. So I do think that's something they need to address. But as far as their stars, obviously, you know, with a guy like Anthony Edwards, you have a puncher's chance. He's that talented. He's that good. He's led this team multiple times in previous seasons. So we know he has all the capabilities of doing so. It's just the fact that the West is so talented this season, you just can't guarantee that finals appearance again.
I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like with Anthony Edwards, I mean, 29 points he's averaging, 50, 40, 80 splits over the season. And Boogie, correct me if I'm wrong, I kind of feel like maybe us, the media, we've been real quiet on him. Like, are we overlooking him or what's going on?
I mean, this is just the type of season where there's so many guys having just career years. Like, I mean, I don't know off the top of my head, but I would say it's about 6, 7 guys averaging 30 or close to it. So it's hard to really kind of, you know, categorize that list of guys when everybody is having such a tremendous season. So can you say he's been overlooked? I could say yes, but I don't think there'll ever be a conversation started about, you know, who are the young stars in this league and his name isn't being brought up. And I also think, and I want to go out on the limb with the way, you know, it's been a lot of narrative lately as far as, you know, the Europeans are kind of taking over the game. I don't think that's necessarily true. We got some guys from the States that are really making names for themselves this season. And it's young talent at that. So I do slowly feel that, you know, that narrative will eventually change in the next season and a half. So I like where this young group of guys are going. We got the Anthony Edwards, the Cade Cunninghams, the Jaylen Browns, the up and coming bigs and like Jalen Duren, we have some guys that are coming up making, absolute names for themselves. And I think, when it comes to how we look at the American player and being at the top of the game again, I think that's slowly starting to happen again.
Boogie, you know what? I like the point that you make about the American players, but on the flip side of that coin, if I'm Minnesota, I like the fact that I'm flying under the radar, right? Like all of these conversations, all of these narratives, everything that's going on around us, and we're not the topic of conversation, but we still doing our part, we still doing our job. I like that if I'm Minnesota. I'm fourth in the West and nobody's talking about me and I'm still
Yeah.
killing everybody and I got home court advantage as we speak right now. As far as a playoff spot goes in the first round, I like where I stand. Just continue to get better, keep grinding. Ant-Man hasn't given us these big headlines of him saying things and doing things and all
True.
of the stuff that we love him for with his personality. They're business, and they're strictly business right now. And if you're Minnesota, if you're that city, if you're that fan base, I love it. I love the fact that we're flying like this. Sure, everybody wants some attention, but once attention gets there, comes expectation level. And once you got an expectation level, if you don't necessarily meet what the public or the media or outside noise, if you don't level up to that, then that becomes a distraction. Right now, they have zero distractions. You can see it in how they're playing.
Agree.
I always wondered what you guys as players think, because I always thought it was awesome to fly under the radar. I think it is as my team that I love. I think as an individual, I'd rather fly under the radar than have like constant attention and a lot of it being bad. Did you guys, if you were on a team that was having a nice run, did you take that as a slight, or did you even care if no one's talking?
I mean, if you're moving in the right direction, you're winning games. Obviously, it's easy to kind of overlook not being, the highlight of the season. If everything is going well, everything is positive in the locker room, everything, is moving forward, that's easy to overlook. You don't really, worry about it. Now, if things are going bad and it's being highlighted, that's a whole nother, conversation. So, like Lou said, I don't think any team looks at that, as a bad thing. If you can float under the radar, win games, you're way over 500, really putting yourself in a position to be successful in the playoffs. Once that time comes around, obviously this is a team that's positioning itself for home court advantage. They're doing all the correct things, to get back to the place where they feel they can be and want to be. So, like I said, flying under the radar with all of these positives behind it, you can never view that as a negative thing.
Yeah, and,
fair
and
enough.
what you said, Beto, it really, to me, it depends on the personality of the team. Like if you got a rock star team, we want the attention, right? Like you want to be the front runners. But if you got a team that we got some talent and we work hard and we want to kind of manage expectation levels, but we feel like we can do some damage, that's the team that you want to fly under the radar. Like when I was with the Clippers, before Kawhi and PG got there, we weren't considered a highly touted team, but we knew we had talent. We knew we had SGA. I was in a run at that point. Trez was in a run. We had a lot of guys playing really good basketball. Danilo Gallinari was in a run, but we didn't want the attention because we knew with that came an expectation level, right? So we wanted to fly under the radar. Then once you add a Paul George and a Kawhi Leonard, you can't afford to go under the radar no more. So
Right.
now you kind of got to step into that light. You got to step into what the expectation level is, and you got to stand in front of the bright light. So it really all comes down to the personality of the group and what's expected of you outside of your locker room.
I think that's all a good segue too, because now we'll turn it over to Cleveland. We all were here last year. We all sort of went through that journey with them. It was a crazy ride. Not sure what we're going to talk about here with them now because things have changed, but Donovan Mitchell has not. He's got career highs right now in scoring efficiency, and they are right now a play-in team. There's going to be a lot of, are we wasting his best year ever talk out there, Lou? Do you think that the Cavs are?
You got the coach. I mean, listen, you got the coach of the year. You got two all-star teammates. You got a great fan base. As an individual talent, are one of the best shooting guards in the league. Where are the years getting wasted? And that's not directly to Donovan Mitchell. This is a narrative, right? Like the theme of today is managing expectations. Like when you have a team that starts a season 15-0 and you make yourself a legitimate threat in the East, you're not sneaking up on nobody no more. You're not sneaking up on teams. And now teams are game planning to play a really good basketball team. And this year they haven't responded to it in the way that they have in the past. But all of the pieces are there. They've dealt with some injuries, sure, but what team doesn't, right? You look around the league, what team doesn't have some adversity when it comes to health and guys being available? Cleveland had one of the deepest basketball teams, but the difference between last season and this season, everybody knows you're coming. Everybody knows this is a good basketball team, and we're preparing to play a good basketball team. So Cleveland just hasn't responded well to getting hit with everybody's best shot that they have when they play the Cleveland Cavaliers. So as far as a conversation about wasting his best years, if anything, they've put him in a great position to maximize his years, and they just haven't met the level of expectation. So that's not a dig on Donovan Mitchell. Collectively as a group, they just got to play better basketball.
I agree, man. Lou, you own it today. Like you can't look at this situation.
Yeah, he's been chilling.
You can't look at this situation Donovan Mitchell is in and think, they haven't surrounded him with a team or organization that's trying to actually compete. They've done everything correct. And for me, you just can't go from the top of the mountaintop to one of the worst teams in the league the exact next season. So I think this is on the guys in the locker room. Do I think they have some things to figure out with their roster? Absolutely. The combination of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell is just not going to work. It's a small, it's a small backcourt as far as, Donovan Mitchell being 6'3", Garland, I mean, let's give him 6'1". That's just not, and it's two ball dominant guards. It's not really a recipe that's going to work long term. And I do think Cleveland is starting to see that, and that's something they will have to figure out moving forward. But as far as, putting him in a position to succeed, I think they've done everything they can. This is just, and obviously, Donovan Mitchell has stepped up even more from the previous season. But, now you got to start looking at the guys, around you. Are you getting their best efforts every night? Have they developed from the previous season? Have they gotten better? Are they even built to handle, this type of season? Because like Lou said, everybody's now giving you their best shot. You being the number one team in the East last season and winning so many games, everybody in the East is looking at you as their Super Bowl this season, and they just haven't been able to reach that level of tenacity, and they haven't been able to, reach that standard that they had the previous season. So I have to disagree. I think they've done everything. It's just this team is underachieving this season.
Yeah,
It's
like
so
what do they correct? Like I look at your roster, you got shooting, you got playmaking, you got rim protection, you got a big that can hoop. You got bench scoring. You got guys that can play. You have a coach
and
that
you
knows
got good coaching.
you got good coaching. They spent the money. You got the most expensive roster in the league. Like, where do you?
That's crazy.
Where are
what
the?
more can
I
we?
wouldn't. By the way,
what
I
more
wouldn't
can we
have known
do?
that. I think I would have lost that bet if you said who's got the most expensive roster. I don't think I would have guessed that one. Huh.
So listen, the
crazy.
money's been spent. The effort is there. They check all of the boxes. But again, when it comes to around the league, everybody knows that the Cleveland Cavaliers are a good basketball team now. So from the Washington Wizards all the way down to the Detroit Pistons, you're going to get everybody's best shot every single night. And like we said, they just haven't been able to withstand the pressure of that.
So yeah, we the roster is what it is. The salary cap rules are what they are. So whether they move any of their top four guys remains to be seen. There's a lot of talk. It seems like now 2 seasons in a row. Darius Garland, Boogie, they got to move one. And I don't know if you want this stat, but they are outscored by about 29 points when Jared Allen and Garland are on the floor together. I feel like I'm sort of swaying you in one direction there, and that's cheating. But you're moving one of the four. What's happening?
I mean, I think the obvious is figuring out that guard situation. So for me, Darius Garland would be that first option. And this is no knock to Darius Garland. It's just not a good fit. Donovan Mitchell needs the ball in his hands to be Donovan Mitchell. So that takes away from Darius Garland and him playing his best basketball and vice versa. So I think it would be best for both sides. Obviously, Darius Garland can find another situation to where he can play his best brand of basketball and he could be the point guard that he wants to be and potentially can be. So, and then it also allows, Donovan to be the best version of himself. So for me, that's the glaring issue. And, obviously with Jared Allen, I'm sure it's plenty of value that comes behind him. So I do think you can make something happen with that. And I spoke on it yesterday. as far as any team in the East, everybody should be on Dallas's phone line looking at Anthony Davis. It is if I'm Cleveland,
Hurt
I'm
again
looking
last
at
night, though,
Anthony
Boogie.
Davis.
Hurt
Like
again.
this is such a
I
glaring stat.
know.
If your big man is attached to a stat like this and you're being outscored by 29, that's a pretty obvious answer to me. Like, let's get on the phone with Anthony Davis and see
Wait,
if we can
hold
make
on.
something
I got to
happen.
stop you because, like Lou just said it again last night. The grimace and the hurt and the it's like it's a sexy name, but in reality, it feels like every night you're just on pins and needles waiting for the moment where ouchies happen. Do you really want that?
That's fine, but we can also look at it as a way of this is a champion. He's done it. He knows what it takes to be a champion.
You got to be available, though.
Injuries are a part of the
I don't know,
game,
man.
regardless if we like it or not. Some guys get it more than others. That doesn't take away from the
If you
talent.
cancel on me 3 times, I'm not waiting around for the 4th time. Like that's, I feel like
check
that's
this
what
out, though,
Anthony
Boogie.
Davis is. Like,
Check this
come
out.
on.
In the building right now, I got Jared Allen. In the building right now, I got Evan Mobley.
Mhm.
I got really good big men right now.
Obviously not if you're getting outscored by 29 points when he's on the floor. So how good is he?
Conversation? Well, how to like you crazy? I ain't gonna do this switch.
And this is supposed to be a defensive specialist. Like
Yeah,
this isn't an offensive big man. This is a defensive anchor, and
I'll
you're
take
getting
that. I'll
outscored by
take that
29.
before. Yeah, I mean, listen, you make a great point there. But I think the one area that Cleveland has to shore up, they got to figure out what's the future with Darius Garland, right? He can be a lead guard somewhere. And he's also going to bring some value. If you put him in the trade market, you're going to bring in some really good, valuable pieces that's going to move you forward. Obviously, he's a head guy. He's a 1A guy. It is what it is. He's a 1A guy. He needs the basketball to be successful. He needs to be the lead to be successful. Right now, it's just not working how it is. So if you shop a guy like a Darius Garland, you free up Donovan Mitchell to go do everything that he's already doing, but you allow Garland to go out there and do the same thing, and then you can bring back some valuable pieces. I think that's where you short up. I think that's where you look at out in the field. I don't know if Anthony Davis is the answer again. Last night he got hurt again. Great name, great champion, great player, but at this point of his career, availability is going to be the problem. If he can be available, he's one of the best bigs in the league, but that is a huge if. That's my only problem right now. So even the conversation about Atlanta around the city, everybody like, we love AD, but if he ain't gonna play, what does it matter?
What's the point? Absolutely.
He has that on his name. He got that on his reputation. And even people today are making fun of how it looked. And you and I, Boogie, we know how it is in games. It may not look like something, but I'm already dealing with something that's aggravated or something, this and that. So it looked like an injury that it shouldn't have been something serious for him. But it is. It is what it is. And so I don't know if that's the name, but if I'm Cleveland Cavaliers, if I'm them and I'm trying to get better and I'm trying to get back in the mix, DG is going to be the guy because I know he's going to bring value. And on the flip side, he can go somewhere and be happy as well.
Well, it is a team out west in Cali that's looking for a franchise PG. So, and it's a fire sale with their team right now in the Sacramento Kings. So they got a decent big that I feel could help Cleveland and Sabonis. That's a possible situation as well. So I don't know. I think there's some options out there for the Cavs to improve this season. So it's just about
Darius Garland,
I like the bigs that they got. You hard on the bigs out here. But that's your nature. I'm hard on the guards. You hard on the bigs.
I mean, this is just a glaring stat. I've never heard of a defensive big, not a combination big, a defensive big. Your only job is to play defense. And when you're on the floor, you're getting outscored by 29 points. To me, that's a glaring issue.
I mean, the Department of Big Men has spoken, and we have to accept that, Boogie. Your expertise. Guys, we got another game. We have another game. Pacers Hornets. I'd like